Hi YouTube, I'm outside of the Tesla factory. I wanted to take a quick moment to document some of the interesting things that I found while being able to drive a Tesla Model X around. The first is inside of the sun visor. We all know that it clips in by magnets. It flips out to provide some extra shade, but what I didn't know until fiddling around inside of the car was that there was a hidden vanity mirror behind the second flap. If you just put your fingernail behind it, pop it out, there's a vanity mirror with lights. I know this is something small, almost every car has it. First I thought it was weird that the Model X didn't have it until I found it on my own. While the cup holders for the front are much more obvious, there are actually a pair of cup holders for the rear passengers just below the USB ports here. Push in, and they pop out. You want to hide them away, simply push them back in. Voila. If something comes up where you want to mute the audio real quick, simply just push the scroll wheel on the left side inwards, and it'll mute the audio. If you would like to adjust the volume of the music, you can do so simply by rolling the scroll wheel up or down while the music is playing. If you want to do the same thing for the navigation, you have to do that while the navigation is talking, and the navigation voice will change. The second way to adjust the navigation volume is from the middle touch panel. Simply touch on the speaker icon, and you can then adjust navigation's volume manually that way as well, without having to wait for the navigation to talk. It's a well-known fact that the rear seats of the Model X are not the most spacious, but they sure do get the job done. With my heels against the baseboard and the seats adjusted back, the monopost sections allow my feet to move around and have a little bit of space. My knees are not against the backrest, and all is fine. However, with the 6-seat version without this middle seat over here, I would definitely have more room to move my leg forward and stretch it out a little bit on a longer journey. What I found interesting is that the rear seats move further back when no occupants are detected. If I stop sitting on the seat, then the middle row is adjusted for maximum legroom for those occupants. This also means that if passengers are in the rear, they should not need to worry about legroom issues so long as they trigger the weight sensor. Of course, if they don't trigger the weight sensor, then there's really no room. First thing I want to point out about the Falcon Ring doors is that the black strip at the bottom is capacitive. Simply touch it, and it'll stop the doors from continuing to open. It even reverses itself just a little bit as well. The second thing I wanted to mention was that the Falcon Ring doors, of course, will stop themselves if they detect an object in their trajectory. They're a little conservative. Obviously, they don't want to be scratching anything at all. However, if you know that the doors will open all the way, you can simply come over here, pull on this button here until you hear a chime, and the doors will continue to open. If you let go, the doors will stop opening. However, if you know that the doors are going to not hit anything, simply push and hold all the way, and they'll open to their fully open position. Now, pushing and holding this button on the trunk will actually cause another chime in the car. However, that chime is for a slightly different purpose. What you want to do is to set the trunk's height manually. Push and hold the button until you hear the chime. And then you can simply single push that button to finish closing the trunk. The next time the trunk is opened, it'll open to that same exact height, and you don't have to struggle to jump up to close the trunk manually. Alright YouTube, I'm running a little lower on time, so this next couple videos will be a little quicker. They're both actually about this the stock over here. I'm coming from a vehicle that does not have automatic windshield wipers, so from what I found is that these two dots over here mean that you're in automatic mode. The further away the dots, the more rain that can accumulate on the windshield before the wipers will activate. Right now I'm in the garage, so there's no rain to worry about. However, since it's in the on position, the windshield wipers are not actually doing anything because there's no rain. So that's all it is. Simply, if you wanted to clean the windshield a little quicker, you move it to the up position, and these two positions on top just means that you're manually choosing to leave the windshield wipers active. The second one I want to point out was that the automatic high beam is actually really fantastic. It works very well at night. Within a half second of oncoming car's lights being pointed towards this car, the high beams will deactivate, and when there's no other light sources on the road, when it's a really dark road, the high beams will turn back on their own. If you wanted to manually flash the lights, you would simply pull the stock all the way towards you, and then you can see the blue light on, showing that the high beams are activated. When you let go, the high beams turn off. However, because you pulled it in the normal position now. If you want to activate the automatic high beams, you have to push it away from you once, and then you see the A symbol, which lets you know it's automatic. And when the automatic high beams are on, you'll see that symbol is lighting up as blue to show you that the high beams are actually enabled. Convenience feature, very, very nice. Not a must-have, but it works very well for my limited tests with the car. All Model X's include air suspension, which at the very low setting adjusts the camber or the angle of the rear wheel tires. While this increases ride handling, the trade-off is that the longevity or the lifespan of the tire decreases because the insides of the tire will wear faster than the outsides of the tire. It's worth noting just in case you value longevity versus performance. Up to you. Number 10 on my list is, of course, launch control. One of the longest things for me to figure out was how to actually enable this thing. Of course, ludicrous mode has to be on. Max battery power apparently is actually a link. It looks like everything else is buttons on here, but max battery power turns out to be a link. When you touch it, it opens up a new window. You touch max battery power, and then it takes time to calibrate to get the battery heated up to the appropriate temperature. When it's all ready, it'll say ready, and that'll be it. What you then have to do is push the brake, push and hold the brake, you'll all the way down, push and hold the accelerator all the way down, let go, and then it says launch mode enabled. Then you push and hold the accelerator, and then you let go. And that's launch control with ludicrous mode.